Hey, friend, let's talk about the tension that most high achievers face, but few of us name honestly. How do you work hard without working yourself into the ground? How do you chase big dreams and stay consistent without burning out or numbing out or falling apart behind the scenes? We live in a world that applauds the hustle and over execution and overextension, your grind, your push, your performance. And the minute you pause, someone else posts, earns, or wins. So you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. But here's the truth. Hard work actually is a good thing. Hard work is holy. But overwork, that's the difference. That's harmful. And sometimes the most strategic, powerful thing you can do is shut it off. So let's go deeper with this. Let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with working hard. In fact, it's a gift. Discipline, diligence, excellence. These things are godly in my mind. They're fruitful. And in a distracted world, these sort of traits can really set you apart. Scripture even says, whatever you do, whether in word or in deed, do it heartily unto the Lord, or whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. So yes, work hard. Give it your best. Be someone people can count on. Build things with purpose. That kind of work does create legacy. But even the most productive people on the planet, maybe even in history, Jesus included, rested, healed, withdrew, took some time to recover and recuperate. And I would submit to you that if Jesus needed that rhythm, what makes us think that we don't? So when does hard work become harmful? When is that line crossed? Well, when it stops being about impact and starts becoming your identity. When you're not working for something but running from something. That's when it's really time to pause and reflect, because you weren't created to be a machine. You're not your output. You're not your last deadline. You're not your productivity. Sometimes we hide in work because stillness feels too loud. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes silence makes us face the stuff that we'd rather avoid. This describes my journey to a T. I think I became a doctor partly because of maybe a lot of the woundings and things that I went through as a kid. And as a result, maybe I felt that if I worked hard enough and I healed people and I helped people, then maybe in some capacity I might heal myself, or I might find a sense of meaning and purpose. And yes, while those things are true, no matter how busy I was doing good things, I was hiding sometimes from myself and my inner pain, and I wouldn't know what to do with myself when I had some downtime, so I would just dive into more work. But here's what I've learned. If you don't shut it off, life will shut it off for you. And oftentimes, when that happens, it won't be gentle. So I want to share with you a few signs that it might be time to to step back. If you feel guilty resting, even when you're exhausted, that could be a sign. When your relationships are fraying, but your calendar's full, rethink some things. When you feel wired, but empty at the same time, take a minute. If you constantly check your emails, your messages, your tasks, and even in the moments that should be sacred, that should tell you something. When you're more reactive than reflective, that's a sign. Something else you might consider is that what if you can't remember the last time you were fully present in a moment? If any of those things hit home, it's time to take a breath. This isn't about shame. This isn't about beating you up. It's really about realignment. Let me just say it plainly. Boundaries are not laziness. They're leadership. Leadership in action. Great CEOs, great parents, great creatives, great leaders, they all tend to know when to shut it down. It's really difficult to lead when you're tired. You can't hear clearly when you're constantly flooded with activity. And the reality is that you won't last if you never pause. There's a difference between working from rest and working to earn rest. Let me say that again. There's a difference between working from rest and working to earn rest. One is fueled by peace. The other is really fueled by fear. And fear will wear you down until nothing is left but resentment and regret. Fear is something that we have to deal with. It's something that we have to overcome. Fear can be a very powerful motivator. And sometimes there are forms of healthy fear, but what we're talking about is irrational fear, fear that really does not produce the proper healthy result that we're shooting for. So more specifically, what does shutting it off look like? Set a stop time. Stick to it. Protect your evenings. Protect your peace. When we think of things like Sabbath, Sabbath isn't old school. It's oxygen. 1 day a week. No work. No guilt. What else does maybe shutting it off look like? Well, how about movement, like moving your body, not to burn calories, but to reset your mind. Make room for joy. Not everything has to be productive to be valuable. Guard sacred moments. Dinner with your family. Think of the family dinner table. Maybe mornings with God. Chair time, quiet time, uninterrupted time with the people who matter. Remember this. You're not here to just perform. You're here to live. If you don't schedule the things that keep your soul alive, your schedule will steal them. So, again, in this brief time together today, I'll leave you with this. Work hard. Show up. Give your best. but know when to shut it off. Because rest is not retreat, it's wisdom. Rest is not retreat, it's wisdom. It's leadership, it's worship. The world is going to always demand more and more and more. But it takes courage. It takes faith to say, I've done enough for today, and now I choose peace. There's a verse that I love that says, faith enters into rest. It's powerful. So start leading your life, maybe like a business, okay? But lead your soul like it matters more than the bottom line, because it really does. Thanks for listening today. I'll see you next time.
This podcast is for general informational and inspirational purposes and does not constitute the practice of medicine or any healthcare services. No doctor-patient relationship is established, and the content in these episodes is not intended to diagnose, treat, or give medical advice, nor is this a substitute for seeking professional medical care. The use of the information discussed is at the user's own risk.